Hey cats, it's about that time you've all been waiting for, the first tri-annual shoe list of 2022, or 2022 as everybody else says it. Why did I say that? Here are all of the shoes that I have reviewed over the last 4 months, either initial scores or 100 mile updates, in order of greatness. So let's get to my top 10 running shoe reviews of 2022 so far. Thanks for joining us here on the channel. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications. It also helps us out a huge amount if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share it with your running buddies. Cheers, me dears. Before I go on, I must state that there are a couple of shoes that I have removed from this list purely because I just don't have enough miles in them yet. I've set a specific bar, so it's everything above that number of miles. Even on the initial review, sometimes I've hit 14 through to about 20 miles, so I think I need a reasonable number of miles to have those in this list today. There will be no Metaspeed Sky or Takumi Sen 8 here. I did review those shoes back in 2021, but I haven't yet reached that 100 mile point. So once I get there, I will publish my 100 mile reviews on those two shoes. They're almost there, but not quite. Let's get this started, guys. There's a lot of midsole to work through here. Starting off, number 10 is the On Cloud Monster. The first on running shoe that I have reviewed on the channel. It did have a few good points to it, but I have to say it's a whopping price there. You could say it's a monster price. I found it didn't really deliver on that whole max cushion vibe that it's giving off. The stack height's here, but the foam isn't there to back up that whole use case. I think I gave it an 83% score, which is not bad. I tend to only pick up shoes that I feel are actually going to really work for me or bring something new to the whole channel. Some people suggested that all of my reviews are like 75 upwards or something. Well, I'm not going to buy a shoe that's complete trash. What's the point in that? No one's going to win out of it. Certainly not me, and you guys aren't either. I would have rated it a little bit higher if it wasn't for that really thin tongue. I just had loads of lace pressure right up here on the top of my foot. Not all that comfortable. Quite a firm shoe as well, and as such, it's not one that I can really say is a absolutely essential pickup. So number 10 is the On Running Cloud Monster. Number 9 is the Nike Zoom X Streak Fly. I have to be honest, at 100 miles, the Streak Fly was a little bit of a disappointment. The upper, in fact, was a huge letdown. Quite voluminous, in fact. I felt that the range of the shoe was a little bit limited, and in fairness, I think it's a good idea, but the implementation just wasn't there. Scarcity of pairs in the UK certainly has meant that not a lot of people have got to test this one out yet, but I think it's quite a high price for what you actually get here out the box. Again, not really an essential purchase. It might be one that you want to test out just for fun, but it's probably one you can leave on the shelf. The Streak Fly from Nike is number 9. At number 8 is the Adidas Adi Star, a huge midsole mass. It cannot be denied. And there's a really plush upper on this Adidas shoe. Certainly one for those longer sessions. I have to be honest, I've not had the opportunity to take this one out yet for its intended use case. It's just fallen wrong really with races that I had and some tapering that had to be done. And then of course getting the dreaded virus. I do want to test out its long run chops and hopefully I can do that in the next few weeks. Still a chance for it to climb up the charts a little bit. I don't think it's a bad shoe. I just don't feel I've harnessed everything it has to offer as of yet. Be interesting to see if the midsole and the outsole hold up on the Adi Star. I don't think it's ever going to be the best value shoe that anyone can buy. It's certainly got quite a locked in sort of intended use. The scenarios that you probably pull it out for are a little bit more minimal, I suppose. Bit of a strange outcast really, with that very soft repetitor foam and then this very, very firm kind of casing around the heel section of the shoe. A little bit like a Cadbury's cream egg. At number 8, it is the Adi Star from Adidas. At number 7, it is the Asics Gel Nimbus 24. I found this one to be exceptionally good for easy cruising miles and even casual wear actually. It's just so comfortable underfoot. The Flight Foam Blast Plus really is something, and I do recommend you test it out if you get the chance. Makes for a very cushioned offering here, and this shoe has one of the best uppers that I've tested out over the last year. Certainly a top of the range shoe, this one from Asics, but it does have a top of the range price as well. I felt that impacted a little bit on the value. Though I've got to be honest, it does make the Cloud Monster at 150 Earth credits look a little bit overpriced. You'll get loads of of miles out of this shoe, and I don't see the foam bottoming out anytime soon. I gave the Gel Nimbus a solid 90% score when I reviewed it earlier this year, and it's certainly one that I'll be taking up to that 100-mile point for you for an update. Still smells pretty reasonable too. Really is super squashy, that Flight Foam Blast Plus. At position number 6 now, Nike returning to form with the Pegasus 39. You guys would have seen my initial review of the 39 by now. It's in fact one of the fastest videos on the channel to reach 10k views. I think it's done it in just over a day, which is nuts. Thanks for watching if you have done so. A return to form for the Pegasus, which I scored a 10.9 out of 12. There's some real versatility here from Nike. Lowering the weight of the Pegasus brings it back into that sort of daily shoe ballpark. Nike for once delivering on the ethos of the shoe, which is a running shoe for all runners. I really do think that the React here is a little bit softer as well than previous models. Certainly one to test out if you have the opportunity. At number 6, it's the Pegasus 39. We're halfway. If you're enjoying the video and you haven't done so already, give it a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. Danke schön. At number 5, we have my beloved Under Armour Flow Velociti Wind 2. I loved it last year, and I love this year's edition too. Fans of responsive midsole running shoes, I send a message to you. This is one worth checking out with its more rebound-like midsole material. Firmer, perhaps a little bit closer to the Phylon midsoles that we found in Nike's Streak models. And of course basketball shoes as well. And it's funny I should say that because I think Under Armour developed the Flow midsole material originally for Steph Curry, the 3-point NBA master. A nimble pace shoe, and of course you have that built-in tech as well that you can attach up to your phone via that Under Armour Map My Run app. I gave it all-round high ratings, an 11 out of 12 score. One to test out and highly recommended by me. Don't know about best performing, but certainly one of the best looking shoes of 2022 so far. What do you reckon, people? Oh yeah. At number 4, we have the Next Percent 2 from Nike. I took this one up to 100 miles a little bit earlier this year, though it was a 2021 pickup. It's kind of saving it for races really, but there were loads of races I couldn't do for whatever reason. A 93% score was given on that 100 mile review for this shoe. I've got to say it is still the best running shoe midsole that money can buy, and an improved upper on this version as well. The outsole's still lacking a little bit of that coarse bite that people require, certainly in wet conditions, and of course the price is still a bit of a value killer. You can't get away from that. Although you do spot numerous pairs now for under 200 big ones, so you could get it for a little less. Now, a PB could make this shoe a very cheap or value pickup to some people, I suppose, and it has to be said that this shoe did help me to get that half marathon PB back in September of last year. So, the Next Percent 2 is in position number 4. Position 3 is the Reebok Energy 4. Quite the opposite of the Vaporfly Next Percent 2 in terms of value. A very low cost shoe for accumulating those daily miles, and a tremendous upper to boot, which is something that can really make or break a running shoe. This Reebok delivers in spades with a cushion and comfort that defies its retail price. Quite often you can find some discounts on this one as well to bring it even closer to around about the 50 Earth credit mark. Try this one out guys, don't expect a Vaporfly killer or an Adios Pro 2 exterminator. You're not going to get that, but what you are going to get is a superb daily use shoe for the price of like a video game, so can't moan really. I think it looks fantastic as well in this sort of sail-like colourway. So, position number 3 is the Energy 4. At position 2, it's the big brother of the Reebok Floatride Energy 4, the Energy X. A part-plated lesson in fantastic upper design. The fit is on point here, and what you will get is a very stable cruiser. I found it fantastic at my half marathon or marathon pace. One of the most forgiving plated shoes underfoot that I've tried out of recent time, and in terms of cost, it makes it one of the shoes that you won't need to hide from your significant other on purchase. The Floatride foam and the strategically placed Floatride Plus under the forefoot make this a snappy ride and a very usable shoe for some segmented speed sessions or steady paced efforts. A 94% initial score is not one given lightly by this shoe savant. So let's clear the decks behind me. We can play a little game now as to what you think the top shoe might be. Some of you may have worked it out already, probably cheeks to 777 knows. Let's get to it. What is shoe number 1? It scored 0.1 higher, or about 1% higher than the last shoe, and it is the Prime X from Adidas. The #1 shoe reviewed over the last 4 months on the channel. Now, initially I thought this was a completely unnecessary offering from Adidas, but how wrong I was. A brilliant upper design and the most cushioned and forgiving footwear that I've ever tested out. And it's durable to boot as well, guys. No bits hanging off here anywhere. In fact, the outsole seems barely touched at all after 100 miles. That massive Light Strike Pro foam really does boost recovery as well. You'll be getting back out there that little bit sooner using the Prime X. Of course, the big downside to this is the big price on this one. 220 Earth credits is no joke, but to me it's worth every single one of the pennies that I spent on it. I gave it an 11.5 out of 12 or a 95% rating. That's going to be hard to beat, guys. Do you think there's any shoes that are coming out in 2022 that could dethrone the Prime X? Is there anything that could trump this mighty shoe rating? We shall see. Let me know what you think might trump it down in the comments. So there's my top 10 reviewed shoes of 2022 so far. What do you make of my list, guys? Those are my ratings, my honest opinions. You know, I always tell it like it is. Let me know your top shoes of 2022 so far down in the comments. A musical interlude for you. I recently ran into a bargain vinyl pickup, a brilliant album from Ben Folds called So There. There's a wonderful track on this album called Not a Fan. I love it. I love the whole sentiment behind it, where he's kind of gone along to a concert and the person he's with just finds the person who's performing at the concert fantastic. They think they're out of this world. Probably feels like it's diminishing his art a little bit, you know, that he's a great composer, singer, songwriter, but they still find this person to be this idol or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm not a fan. I love the track Long Way to Go as well. Reminds me of some of Ben Folds' material from the 90s. The track Yes Man features some wonderful, very subtle woodwind as well. Everything about this album's great. It's quite short, there's loads of orchestral type sections to it. I do believe he actually wrote it and performed it with a small orchestra. I think it's like an 8-piece orchestra. Do go and check this one out, guys. It's back from 2015. So There by Ben Folds. Thanks for tuning in, cats. Always appreciated. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on today's video down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications. Don't forget also to give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you